Love, love, love till I be but breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Welcome to the Spirit of Life program. My name is Lucia Pace, and today my guest is Father Stephen Pilley, who has an extraordinary conversion story from the Hindu faith and now to a Catholic priest. Welcome to our program, Father. Thank you for accepting our invitation, and it's really good to have you here. Father, tell us a little bit about where you come from and how this journey from Hinduism to priesthood evolved for you.
Thank you, Lucia. I come from South India,
Yes.
Andhra Pradesh. I am the sixth child of 9 children of my parents. So I was born as a Hindu and grew in Hindu religion. And my parents had a strong faith in Hinduism.
Okay.
Then I had a great desire to be an engineer,
Yes.
go to America, get married, live a happy life.
Okay. That went by the wayside, obviously.
Yes. But during my high school studies, I was impressed by my school principal, Brother Lucia Reddy.
Were you in a Catholic school?
Yes, I was in a boarding school.
Yes.
This school principal, Brother Lucia Reddy, serving the poor children, educating them, bringing them from darkness to light.
All right.
So I was so impressed by this act. Then there was a compelling desire and a confusion within me to be an engineer or a religious missionary.
As you would have.
Yes. But this compelling desire I expressed to my school principal, saying that I want to become a religious missionary. Because of my background and Hindu faith, the school principal said it is not possible for you.
Oh.
Then there was a conflict within me how to go about it.
Yes.
Then I reflected in prayer and silence. I expressed to the principal, I am ready to change my faith. But my parents didn't approve my change from Hinduism to Catholicism.
Understandably, yes.
So it was a lot of challenge and difficulties for me. But however, my older sister assured her support to me, saying that we are ready to support to your priesthood. So then my sister and my brother-in-law expressed this desire to my principal. My school principal formed me in catechism and trained me, taught me all the traditional prayers. While I was directed to read the Bible, Gospels, Matthew, and the Acts of the Apostles, I couldn't connect Gospels with life reality. But while I was reading the Acts of the Apostles, from chapter 6, we hear the story of Saint Stephen. Saint Stephen was preaching the word of God, serving the widows, and he was stoned to death by the approval of Paul. And he is the first martyr of the universal church. That's what soon after Christmas we celebrate first martyr Saint Stephen's feast.
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that.
Oh, really?
So that's why you're Father Stephen.
Yes.
You took a Father Stephen after the Apostle Stephen.
Yes.
Okay.
This story touched me. So when I was baptized, I took the name Stephen.
Okay.
So I was baptized at the age of 15.
And then, when you say you were baptized into the Catholic faith,
Yes.
how did you feel about that? Like, was that a real dilemma for you still? When you made the decision you're going to become baptized, did you have concerns about what your family are going to do when they find out?
Yes, it was a dilemma in my heart because I didn't inform this to my parents, relatives, or family members.
Right.
But I knew that when God is with me, God will lead me in the right path.
Right.
So that assured me always that this is a challenge, but God leads me in the right path.
Okay, so let me get this right. You decided to become a Catholic and be baptized with your older sister's approval.
Yes.
And that's how the principal finally said yes, you could do it, because he was concerned about your parents not accepting the idea.
Yes.
In respect of their wishes. Yet you still went ahead and got baptized. Did your parents know?
No.
Okay.
I didn't
So what
inform to my
happened?
parents. I was baptized without knowledge of my parents.
Yes.
But my sister and brother-in-law, they knew about my baptism.
Right. So what happened then? Do they know that they obviously know you're baptized now, you're a priest.
Yes.
I'd be interested to know how they got to know
Yeah.
your baptism.
Then I decided to join the seminary to become a priest.
Yes.
So I expressed to my parents that I'm going to become a priest.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad was so angry and he withdrew his financial support to me.
He actually took you off the will and
Yes.
withdrew financial support.
Yes.
Wow.
But
That's a drastic move.
But my sister took the responsibilities of supporting me financially. So then I joined the seminary at the age of 17.
Mm-hmm.
So when I joined the seminary, I had a few challenges in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, in the seminary, there are so many children are there with me. All are coming from the Catholic faith. Whereas I come from the Hindu faith, I was not accepted much in the seminary.
Oh.
Then there are many religious orders who didn't accept me to take because of my Hindu background faith.
Goodness.
So only the Divine Word Seminary accepted me to this order.
Goodness. So you actually shopped around to see who would take you, and because of your Hindu background, they were nervous to accept you.
Yes.
Oh, wow. And the Divine Word, what is it, the Divine?
The Divine Word Missionaries
Took you in.
took in.
Father, on that note, we're going to take a break now, and we'll be back to take up that point and hear the rest of your story.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be back straight after the break.
Go till I be but breath of thy spirit flowing in me. Go till I be but breath of thy spirit flowing in me.
Hello, welcome back. I'm interviewing Father Stephen Pilley, who has had a conversion encounter from the Hindu faith, and now he's a Catholic priest. Father Stephen, prior to the break, you were talking, sharing with us how everything evolved in terms of knowing that this was a calling on your life. But can you tell us a little bit more about that? How did you know? How did you know? People say, well, how do you know it's a calling on your life?
Yes, while I was discerning my call to be a priest, and I was in prayer and silence, at that time my mom was sick. Then I tested God, saying to God, Lord, heal my mom.
Yes.
And if my mom heals, this is a sign from you that I will be a priest.
Yes.
Then after constant my prayer to God, my mom got healed. Then it is a sign from God that God is calling me to become a priest.
Right.
So that made me confident in the Lord and trust in the Lord. That was a really challenging, but however, being and trusting in God made me to respond to God's call.
Okay. So some would say that might be a coincidence. How were you sure that God healed your mum because of your prayer? Did she have a difficult health condition? Like, was it a chronic health condition?
She was a health condition, maybe last 3 weeks she has been bedridden,
Yes.
sick, and because of a Hindu background, they thought that somebody did black magic on her.
Okay. Yeah.
So when my mom went to the hospital, already she kept psychologically this in her mind, thinking that somebody did black magic. But my strong faith in Jesus Christ, because I am the only one who is a Catholic in the family. I was the only one who was praying to Jesus. But I believed that Jesus is the healer.
Yes.
So that real assurance came to me by healing my mom.
So what you're saying is it's an inner knowing in your heart between you and Jesus, that this was really an encounter that you had with him.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, having said that, you said before that you were in the seminary, you were on your own, you were the only Hindu there, and you had a little bit of difficulty because you didn't have any family support, friend support, or anything like that.
Yes.
So, how did that unfold for you?
Yeah, seminary life is actually, it is a good and more spiritual. Mm-hmm. But however, I felt that I am isolated.
Yes.
But I realized that Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 16 says, "You did not choose me, I chose you. I appointed you as a prophet, and go and bear the fruits. Ask God the Father, He gives you everything." Then I realized it is not that I chose to become a priest, and God chose me to be a priest. Even in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5, we read, "Before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I consecrated you and appointed you a prophet to the nations." It was a real amazing. So God called me before I was formed in my mother's womb. Jeremiah, being a small prophet, even he said to God, "Lord, I am a small boy. I didn't know how to speak the word." So that really touched me. If Jeremiah was called by God to be a prophet, so God called me already when I was in the womb of my mother. So that touched me, that whatever may be challenges, if nobody supports me, nothing will happen to me. God is with me. That led me full trust in the Lord.
Wow.
So then I decided to keep my eye on the Lord, focus on Jesus, and follow his footsteps.
Right, so that was a real lesson for you to turn your focus and your attachments away from humans and to your Father, the one that's leading you, Jesus.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, God has been with me in terms of difficulties, challenges, problems. Even recently, Sacred Heart Parish, Preston, somebody broke the presbytery, found the key of my room, entered into my room around in the morning 3 a.m. I was in deep sleep. These people didn't touch anything from my room, but by God protected me. He kept me asleep. If I got up at that time, my life would have been in danger. These people might have reacted to me, or I might have frightened. My life would have been in danger. So that I realized God has been protecting me from all the difficulties and dangers.
So I can hear in you telling your story, Father, that you have grown to understand that you're not alone.
No.
That Jesus is truly with you.
Yes.
That you don't have to worry about anything. That he takes care and looks after all things.
Yes. Even in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says, "I am with you till the end of ages." So God is with me always. That I feel and I experience always in my priestly life, even today.
Yes. Father, this is wonderful to hear, because I think we would have some viewers. I think it's fair to say that we tend to get distracted and focused on the wrong things in life, and perhaps putting our focus on relationship, human relationship, and weighing that down rather than turning to God.
Yes.
And leaning on him, and then everything else comes. Would you say that that's a good thing for our viewers to understand? Maybe what would you say about faith to our viewers, about learning about how to relate or how to reconnect with God if they haven't got that relationship with him?
Yes, actually in the seminary when I was doing graduation, I was focusing on Jesus Christ. A beautiful, rich, simple girl fell in love with me.
Yes.
And she expressed her feelings, emotions with me, asking me to come out of the seminary, get married. Since I focused on Jesus Christ, I expressed to her my desire is to become a priest. My spiritual director made her to understand the call to priesthood. So that was one of the way where God accompanied me. Even the Satan came into my life. I do not say that she is a Satan.
No.
But devil tempted me to get married with that girl. But again, my commitment to my call led me to the priesthood.
Wow. And that's a wonderful story. And
Yes.
I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about human relationships when we come back. We're taking another break now. We'll see you back shortly.
Go till I be but breath of the Spirit flowing in me. Blow, go till I be but breath of the Spirit flowing in me.
Welcome back. You're watching Spirit of Life, and today my guest is Father Stephen Pilley, who has had a conversion experience from the Hindu faith to becoming a Catholic priest. Hi, Father. Before
Hi,
the break,
Lucia.
Father, you were talking that while you were in the seminary and studying, you actually met a beautiful young girl who was drawn to you and wanted you to marry her, wanted you to leave the seminary. But in prayer, under prayer, somehow your heart was still to become a priest, and the principal stepped in and explained to her the beautiful calling of priesthood. And so that sort of got you out of that.
Yes.
But I would like to, I'm very interested now, and probably a lot of our viewers may be interested in
Yes.
the subject of chastity or celibacy with a priest. Some conceptions out there would be that that's abnormal. Like it's abnormal to ask a person to abstain totally in their life from having intimacy or sexuality with another person. What's your views on that, Father, or your experience?
Yes, a chastity life is a gift from God, and this gift I have chosen in full freedom.
Yes.
Of course, in life reality, when I am thirsty,
Yes.
I drink water,
Yes.
or maybe a glass of beer. When I am hungry, I eat food. So
Yes.
the sexuality, sexual feelings are part of my life, part of human life.
Sensual feelings.
Yes. So I feel the sexual desires within me. But however, these physical desires can be channeled in serving God spiritually. So I always believe, being a chaste life, I am surrendering to God. So my focus will be always my mission, my faithfulness to God, my commitment to my religious order.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes me more important than this makes me more happy.
Mm-hmm.
The chastity or sexual problem, it is not more concern, but it is part of life.
Mm-hmm.
It is part of a human life, a chastity,
Mm-hmm.
a sexual desire.
Mm-hmm.
But how we deal it only through our personal prayer, commitment to the mission.
So what I'm hearing you say, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you've basically, the self-gratification of the sensuality, you have redirected that, if you like, and you get your fulfillment in seeing the freedom of others, the caring of others. Is that
Yes,
right,
exactly.
Father? So
Yes.
that's got a satisfaction in itself.
Yes.
So it's a spiritual satisfaction rather than a physical gratification.
Yes.
Wow, thank you for that. That was
Thank you,
beautifully
Lucia.
answered. All right, so now, earlier you said that your father, when he found out you wanted to become a Catholic and you got baptized, he actually cut you off all the finances.
Yes.
But now he knows that you're wanting to become a priest. What's the relationship like now between you and your father at that point?
From the beginning of my seminary till I was in the novitiate, where the year of spiritual time, I was so angry with my dad.
Angry?
Yes. And I couldn't forgive my dad at all because he withdrew his financial support to me. And I was not in terms of talking to him well. But during the novitiate time, my novice master guided me to pray and forgive. That makes me to heal myself and heal the other. So during the nausea time, I began praying for my parents, and I began to forgive them in prayer. This out of prayer and forgiveness, my eldest sister, who supported me initial of my seminary life, she became a Catholic. And it was a miracle to me that my sister became a Catholic. Of course, she had a devotion to Mary, praying the rosary.
How did she have that devotion if she was a Hindu?
She, with her companions of those who are Catholics, they used to go to Our Lady of Shrine. It is like for her holidays going with her companions. But she had a petition in her heart, and she prayed to Mary for that particular petition to get a land for very low price. That was granted, the petition was granted, and my sister believed in the intercession of Mary.
Wow.
And she became a Catholic.
Right. Now, we've got about 2 minutes, and I believe 2 other members of your family have become Catholics. So how did that happen?
My father had a personal revelation encounter with God in the Eucharist. And my father realized that if my son is going to be a priest and serving God, then I should support him. So my father, encountering with Christ, believing in the power of the Eucharist, and he, my family members, became Catholics.
Wow.
And as a deacon, when I was a deacon, I baptized my brothers and sisters and their children.
Oh my goodness, what an honor.
Yes.
What
So
an honor.
after completing my priestly training, the seminary, philosophy, theology, I was ordained on 28th of April 2010.
And is that date significant at all?
Yes, it is very, very significant for me on particular day. It is the feast of St. Louis Mary de Montfort.
Oh my goodness, look, Father, I really need you to come back next week. Is it okay if you come back and tell us what's happened to you now since your ordination and what you're doing? I'd be really interested in just following the story through, especially this point about, you know, having the significance of your ordination on that Saint's Day. Would you be happy to come back, Father?
Yes, it is my pleasure to come back and share again.
Thank you so much for being on our program. And I can see how you have grown in faith towards Jesus, and you call him the shepherd because there's been so many prayers answered in your life.
Yes.
Thank you, Father. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you, Lucia.
We'll see you back again next week. Take care.